Traded Mitchell to the Cleveland Cavaliers, ending months of speculation that his time in Utah was at end. Here's how the trade broke down. The Cavs get Mitchell and send Collin, Sexton, Lauri Markkanen, Ochai Agbaji, along with 3 unprotected first-round picks in 2025, 2027, 2009, and pick swaps in 2026 and 2028. A huge haul for the Jazz. Stephen A. was not getting Mitchell, superstar, a good thing for your New York Knicks?
I don't believe it was. I sit here this morning happy to be amongst my peeps, but in the same breath, utterly disgusted at the moribund franchise that is the New York Knicks. And that's what I'm going to call them. I'm very disgusted with this. I've been looking forward to having Donovan Mitchell in a New York Knicks uniform. He's a New York native. That's someplace that he wanted to be. And the reality is once again, the New York Knicks didn't get it done. Now, on its face, I want to emphasize that the New York Knicks, on its face, they didn't do the wrong things. You can't mortgage the farm and give up everybody and have nobody for Donovan Mitchell to play with. I totally understand that. But that's not where I'm going when I'm talking about the New York Knicks. I want a star. I want a star. I want a star that the people can descend upon Madison Square Garden to watch. Who is that dude? There is nobody that's that dude right now. They're 37 and 45, okay? They're 37 and 45 last season. I like R.J. Barrett. R.J. Barrett can ball, and he's only 22 years of age, and he's got a promising future. But he ain't that dude yet. Donovan Mitchell ain't 35. He hasn't collected a bunch of dust on his birth certificate. The brother ain't about to go into retirement. He don't have some AARP card waiting for him. This is a 25-year-old brother that's good for 25 a game. And you would pack the Garden to watch what he could put on display and he could bring to the basketball court. You didn't get that done. Why is that relevant to me? And why should that be relevant to Knicks fans and basketball fans everywhere? First of all, when basketball is great in L.A., Chicago, New York, the game is better. There's a vibe that gets elevated, all right? That doesn't exist with the New York Knicks because James Dolan is running that franchise, and all he's concerned about is playing his guitar and building some legacy in Vegas, okay? We got a president of basketball operations in Leon Rose who is a good man and is a smart man. He's got a weakness that he's absolutely, utterly petrified of talking to the media. And so when there's no accountability with the media from the president of basketball operations, there's not going to be any accountability on the part of the players. So Julius Randle is playing lights out a couple of years ago. Last year, they boo him a little bit because he's struggling. What does this brother do? He wilts beneath the pressure because he gets all sensitive and caught up in his emotions. Strong, powerful. He gets to the basket anytime he wants to. And what is he doing? Dribbling the ball between his legs and shooting contested three-point shots. And when I think about Donovan Mitchell, swagoo, here's where it hits me. And I don't blame you for looking at me like that, my brother, because they're worse than the Cowboys. I'm going to say it on national television. The New York Knicks are worse than the damn Dallas Cowboys, okay? But let me tell you something. Swagoo. This is what really resonates with me. Phil Jackson is an 11-time champion as a coach. He comes to the New York Knicks and takes over. He passes up on Donovan Mitchell to draft Frank Ntilikina. Some dude from France. Never heard of him, never saw him. And damn it, he's been in the league ever since. I still never heard of him and barely saw him. That's how bad it is. But this is what the New York Knicks do. And so what happens is this past in the playoffs, when the Knicks were home watching, they decide to take a flight to Dallas because Dallas and Utah are playing each other in the postseason. And they sitting damn near courtside, fraternizing with folks and all of this other stuff, ticking off both Dallas and the Utah Jazz. So when it comes time to get Jalen Brunson, you overpay him a little bit, even though he's good and he's got promise, and I like the fact that he's a New York Knicks. But then you got Dallas about to file tampering charges against him. And in the case of Utah, you got somebody in Danny Ainge and his executives that don't like what the New York Knicks did, and you start hearing noise about how they ain't doing a deal with the New York Knicks come hella high water because they don't like the Bush League manner in which things were handled. All of these things come into consideration. And as a New York Knicks fan, I don't get to just look at this one basketball decision and say, okay, I understand whether I like it or not. I have to look at it in its totality. And the conclusion that I come to is what can go wrong will go wrong when it comes to the New York Knicks. They never get what they're after. We wanted Donovan Mitchell. They give us Jalen Brunson. We wanted KD and Kyrie. They give us Julius Randle. This is why we wanted LeBron. We had to settle for Amari Stoudemire back in the day. And ultimately, Carmelo Anthony comes. Every everywhere you turn, the New York Knicks find a way to break your heart if you're a New York Knicks fan.
As much as we like to rag on the Knicks, and it's well deserved, they've done plenty of things wrong and made plenty of bad decisions. They actually did make a big offer for Donovan Mitchell. In July, they offered RJ Barrett, Obi Toppin, Mitchell Robinson, and 3 unprotected first-round picks. My guess is, after that offer, the Knicks said the price is too high and we're just not going to give up our entire team for one player. You still have to feel for Knicks fans because every player, and I mean every player they're rumored to get, they never end up getting. At least when the Lakers are rumored to get everybody, they end up getting something. They got LeBron, they got AD, and they got Westbrook, which at the time was a big deal and a positive thing. So they get some good players in free agency through trades, and they draft some decent players, but the Knicks seem to always make the wrong move or just not get the player they want because it doesn't work out. And Stephen A was right about the Knicks being worse than the Dallas Cowboys. The Dallas Cowboys have championships in 96, 94, 93. The last Knicks championship was in 1973. It's been bad for the Knicks for a very long time. Every player they could have gotten, they've missed out on. And Julius Randle is a good player. He's just not that superstar that's going to take him over the top. The Knicks are a first-round exit this year, and I don't see that changing in the foreseeable future. And until it does, guys like Spike Lee and Stephen A. Smith are going to continue to be disappointed. But that's just what I think. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below, and leave a like if you enjoyed this video, and subscribe for more NBA content just like this, and I will see you in the next upload.